Welcome to the Bush League Show. Hell yeah, here we are here today. I'm Big Mike.
I'm Jordan Ward, and we've got a very special guest today. Katie Bowman is in the studio with us.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
This is our soundboard.
I love that.
Thank you. Yeah, we're really we've got advanced technology here.
Balls to ass.
Yeah.
That's all they're doing. I'm just kidding.
That was so quick. How'd you guys do it? We've been practicing.
That's just what it sounded like. Okay.
Yeah, we don't have cameras, so,
Thank God.
They can't see us do it.
Anyways, Katie, thanks for joining us. How you been? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Trying to start the new year without any goals this year, The goal is to not kill myself.
Okay. Yeah. So far, so good.
The bar is pretty low.
High standards.
Yeah, I know. In this culture, in this life, every time I get on Instagram, it's like, what do you think about this? And it's just like worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah.
I've been spending way too much time on Instagram, and I hate it. It's like one of those things. It's like I hate it so much.
I hate it. I'm like,
and
why
then I keep going back to it. Like it's something's gonna like miraculously. Oh yeah, this is amazing.
Yeah, like Harris Alterman. Did you guys ever meet him when he was out here back? He started here and he's in New York now.
Nice.
He has a joke about. Sorry, Harris, that I'm butchering your joke if you ever hear this. But he has a joke about being addicted to his phone, and he's like, snorting my phone. I was like, that is how it is. It feels it's like a condition.
Mm-hmm.
You need that dopamine hit.
Or Nimesh Patel also was like, I had to get off the phones because it's like there's going to be like a phones anonymous.
I'm surprised there isn't yet.
For real.
No, but it's true, especially older people, I think, like that don't have a lot to do. Like my aunt is on there at like 4 a.m. I'm like, what are you doing on there?
But they're booting
4
up.
a.m.
They're booting up the old PC to get on their Facebook to share those Trump memes. There,
Yeah.
at least that's what my parents do.
Oh no.
My dad's like, damn right.
I'm lucky that my like parents and my sister are like liberal, liberal democratic. I still think Dems are like kind of conservative, right?
They are.
Mm-hmm.
But
One side of the same coin.
my brother can die.
Okay.
And just kidding. But he is. He revealed that he was pro-life when the day Roe v. Wade got overturned. So right now he's a little dead to me.
So before he's just lying.
He was just like not talk. Like he wouldn't talk about it or whatever. And then the day it happened, my mom sent out this message that was like, "Whatever your daughters need," because they both have kids. And my brother was like, "Y'all know this is good, right?" And we were like, "What? What are you talking about, David?" And he was like, "It's just going back to the states, so the states can decide. I wouldn't kill an innocent thing." And it's like, "Oh no, what have you been listening?" He's just been listening to podcasts, and going. He's been going to a church.
Oh, that's where everything goes wrong.
I know, and I'm like, can we stop trying to like put kids into church? Unless, there are some good churches out there, but like a lot of them, I'm like, you don't need to put your kids in church to like teach them moral values. Okay. Like you can also teach them about all the religions and the morals that people talk about, like why they exist and like why people believe certain things. I think that's a great approach. Why do you have to be like, oh, my parents put us through this church, so we're going to go to church, but I don't believe in God. God, no. And it's like, okay, well, then why are you doing it? Like, my family, I was raised Catholic, and so were my parents. And we went to Catholic church, and then, I was born in Philly, raised in Texas. My joke's that I'm a little piece of white trash blowing across the country. Okay, so, but, like, Pennsylvania was really bad with, like, the pedophile priests. There's probably like 68.
Yeah. That New Jersey, I think that
State,
whole like
even it wasn't even just the priests.
Oh, it
was on your resume.
It
no,
was
I'm kidding.
like Bobby Petrino, hire me.
Yeah, it was like a thing out there, and then it's crazy because like I always think like a lot of Pennsylvania and Texas are actually pretty similar. Like if there weren't gerrymander laws, it'd probably be pretty purple.
Probably.
And if immigrants could vote in some of those places, but
Yo,
dude,
this
Texas
is
like.
sorry.
Wait, oh my
Yo.
god!
So I
Must be bad.
just Google. I typed in Pennsylvania priest, and as I was finishing,
Oh,
and
no.
literally the first one was accused of molestation, and then you go and it's just reports. So it's like there's a grand jury and a list of 301 priests,
Damn, that's way higher than I was saying.
and
That makes me
1,000
mad.
children were abused.
No, daddy is bad.
I just
No, I mean it's terrible. This is why I struggle. Like I love kids, but like I don't. I think I would like blame myself if anything were to happen.
right.
And like
Which is what a responsible adult does. They don't take advantage of their power to.
Yeah, it's like so upsetting. And so when that happened, my parents and all like we just stopped going to church.
Right.
And I remember my mom got in a fight with one of my friend's moms, and she was like, "Are you an atheist?" And my mom was like, "Listen, with how these priests have been doing things to children, I don't really feel like my faith lands in the church anymore." And I was like, "Good job, Mom." Like, but then I was like, "Oh, that's why we stopped going to church." Like, I think my parents kind of lost faith in Catholicism, at least, because of all it is. Well, also the Pope
That's a
says
pretty good reason.
the Pope is like, "Oh, you shouldn't beat your wives, but also not having kids is a sin." It's like you can't force people to have kids. We knew you were just buttering us up with that one. Like,
Man,
at least he's pro-Palestine.
Oh, really?
I think I saw that he was like, "This is genocide."
He did. Yeah. I think he used something along those lines of the genocide word, but
Yeah, which is crazy. I saw Biden was like, "Here's a pizza."
yeah, they have their own pizza party now.
This shit, like, this is the shit on Instagram and TikTok that's like melting my brain. I'm like, how is this happening? Like, and I got doxxed. Did you guys see that?
No, what happened?
Well, I got really high. And I should just not get on. That's the only time I like getting on the apps is when I'm high. Otherwise, I'm like upset. But I got really high. I was going to bed, and I just went on a deep dive because I used to be a really big fan of Brett Gelman, but he's like super Zionist now, and his wife is too, and they're just crazy. And they're like writing songs, and so I was like looking at their profiles, and his wife had shared something. And it was 2 women of color taking down Israel hostage posters in New York, which anyone would ask, why are they in New York? But like, they're taking them down, and this like, it's a white lady behind the phone, and she's like going up to them, and she's like, "Stop taking down those posters, stop it!" And she's like filming them, and one of them's like, "Why are you filming me? I didn't do anything." And she's like, "These are hostage," and she's like, "They're not real," and she's like screaming at them, and they're so calm and just poised about it. And so I commented on it, and I was like, "LOL, I love these ladies." And then I shared it on my story. Like, people are crazy. Like, these are fake hostage. Like, even if they're like, okay, also a lot of the hostages I read something that like all the Israeli hostages were over the age of 18, which says they're like, here's pictures of innocent babies being exploded, and it's like, that's an AI image. That baby has 7 fingers. What's happening? Like, do you have eyes? Like, what? And
No, that baby's real. It was born in Chernobyl.
But it's so anyway, I shared it on my story, just like, this is crazy. I woke up to like people threatening me, people fat shaming me, which was actually really funny, just because fat shaming doesn't bother me anymore. And they're like, "Yeah, you wish you were something tubby," or something. I can't remember some of the things they were saying, but one lady called me a clown, and I was like, "Oh, thank you so much." And they were saying really mean things, and then they called all my jobs that I used to work at, and were telling me that I'm a Nazi.
What the fuck?
But I was like, I believe truly that my character speaks alone. I am not a Nazi. Like, I'm like the furthest thing from I'm a Nazi.
The internet is
Genetically, there's probably a 23andMe there. But.
Right. I got some ancestors in Argentina, but
maybe. Whoa, that's funny. Argentina. Okay. That's insane,
dude. That's fucked up. Like that's I try to have no social media presence, but I can't.
It's
so
impossible. I hate when my friends who aren't comics or like performers at all are like, oh yeah, I just like don't know what's going on. I deleted my Instagram. I would go to yoga and they'd be like, oh my god, you're a comedian. Like I want to come, and I'd be like, yeah, you can look me up. And they're like, oh, I don't have Instagram.
Oh well, here's my card.
Just, like see into someone's soul and like how like unaware.
They're just like.
They're
like Luna Lovegood type situation.
Yeah.
Just like,
It's so true. And so, they tried to cancel my album recording. They tried to cancel Sushi High. And luckily, everyone, I'm in business, like, they're ride or die. So, Sushi High was like, we're not gonna. She was like, but unfortunately, if you just want to, like, tank the video where you're telling people to come to Sushi High, and you're also saying, like, pro-Palestine stuff, like, but I was like, that's fair. That's fair. And then Alex at the blog was like, you're not the first person to support Palestine that we work with. And so it's like, it's a no-brainer to me, but I guess it's not for everyone.
It's too ingrained with the older folks, I think.
It's so bad.
Just because they've been supportive of Israel for so long that now when you come in and a younger generation sees videos online in real time, they have differences of opinions, and I think that's kind of where we're at right now.
So
where
bad. No, it's true. It's like that episode of Black Mirror where they're like shooting up this building of pests or whatever, and then they find out they're shooting a bunch of humans. Did you see that episode?
Ooh, no. Which season was that?
Oh, damn, well, I just ruined it. But
spoiler alert!
I've seen them. I've seen them all. It's been a while for some
like,
of the.
Not this most recent one, because one just came out.
Yeah, season 6.
I think it was season 6, but they're in the house. Remember, and they are wearing like certain stuff that makes it look like they're chasing something that's like an enemy. But then they find out that like they're just trained killers. It's like so beautiful.
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about.
Dude, Black Mirror is so good.
It is.
The pig fucking episode is
the very first episode that had me hooked.
I was like,
you saw a guy fuck a pig, and you're like, I want to watch more of this.
So my friend did not show me that. She was like, you don't really have to go in order, and she showed me one in episode 4. And so I was like, oh, shit. And then I watched that one, and I was like, oh, okay, that's why you didn't show me
Good friend. Good friend. I want you to get into this, but it's weird.
Dude, I was with a bunch of hippies, and, like, we were all just, really, really high. And, a lot of acid and drugs were, And, it was one of those. We were like, yo, what is this? And we just threw it on one day. And we were all, that very first episode. And like we were, and especially me, I was staunch, anti-political, like fuck the system, which I still to my heart. But
I think I'm an anarchist.
I'm more
sure.
oh yeah, I definitely just more tactile with it, I guess. But I was like, man, this is awesome. Yeah, he's fucking that pig, dude. Like, that's what you fucking get. That's what needs to happen.
Symbolism.
And I'm like, okay, it was like, I was like, hell yeah, dude, that's what this country is, blah, blah. It reminds, my video just surfaced, a homie tagged me, and they're like, yo, I found this video of you, and it's like literally from 10 years ago, and it's a minute long of me talking about just the system, how bad the government is, how the military needs to like realize its power so we can take back the government. The military 100%. Needs to be our militia. Yeah, and then I was saying some like way off stuff, and I'm like, but I was definitely on psychedelics in that video. I realized. So funny.
You're like, it's like Mother of God.
And one of my white friends says "nigga" in the background.
Ooh.
I was like, oh shit.
Bad time.
I didn't even like.
It resurfaced. He just got canceled.
White people were saying it back
especially in the South, man.
Oh yeah, when I grew up and people were calling me the N-word, and I said it, you guys, when I was in high school.
There's no problem with that. It's honest.
It's fine. Like
in my opinion. It's my opinion.
But then I went to like the whitest place you could go, Colorado, and everyone's like, you can't.
No, absolutely not. I learned quick. I was like, "What's up?"
Yeah,
Hello.
I know. And so I mean, that was like, I was like probably 16 though. You know, you're an idiot kid.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all the kids are saying the R word right now. And it's really heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we got rid of it. As being a
like
bad
for
thing.
maybe 5 years.
Yeah.
I know, but that's like, what? We're bringing it back? Well, it's also Sam J put it on her special. And I was like, Sam J, like, it just sucks when you like... someone was telling me in the scene, they're like, oh, that really sucks, like, because I spilled some tea on this guy, and, like, she was like, I love his album, and I was like, just wait, the longer you get in this business, like, a lot of people let you down, but you also keep meeting people, and there's new people and everything, too, but I swear, like, I don't know, it was, like, a very different time, and, also, another word people are bringing back that I heard is calling things gay, which I think is really funny because I'm like, it just doesn't hit the same way.
No.
Like, it's like fat for me. Like, I'm like, yeah, I'm fat. I'm a little fatty.
It's like, oh, that's gay. Like, okay, that's acceptable. Like,
yeah,
I don't understand.
I know. It's not like it's not what it was.
Just say stupid. Like, if you're going to try and use that word to say stupid, then just say stupid. You know, or get creative. Just be like, dumb fuck.
I've been trying to write a joke about it so bad, just the R word. I'm like, you don't have to worry about me. The only R words I use are reading. But
Reading
it's so lame.
So how long have you been doing comedy?
This is my 10th year, 2020.
Congratulations. That is
crazy. Thank you.
slap them cheeks again, boy.
Oh God.
Excuse me?
I know.
Call
As
him boy.
soon as that came out of my mouth, I was like, this is going to go backfire.
I'm glad this is being recorded.
I hang out with my children too much.
This is where that's what you call your little boys.
Yes. I'm like,
Hey,
listen here, boys.
Yeah.
Gather up. Circle.
Little ones. Yeah.
Oh, they don't, they call it crisscross when they sit down now. As opposed to what, Indian style, I think. That's what I called it.
That was like the South for sure. I want you guys sitting in
Indian style.
I could like hear my teacher saying that. Oh my God.
So in 10 years, how did you get started? Like, what is your, like, what was the kick in the ass that you're just like, I'm doing it?
Well, I went to art school, and when I graduated, I wanted to go to grad school. But I always was, like, trying to be funny. Like, I would make funny art. Like, I was, like, putting my naked body on prints and then hanging them up in the hallway of the art studio. And I was like, look at me. And there was one where I was, like, measuring how fat I was and just naked. And then one of my teachers was like, that was really good. And then also just like a lot of fucking people with like animal heads and stuff. But I was also on a lot of acid at that time. So not every day, but just like
Enough
that I was like, we're all just animals. Like,
Yep.
going through that moment. And I was in Boulder, which is like crazy. Boulder is crazy to grow up in when you look back. And once you get out of there, you're like, oh yeah. That is a lot of white savior bullshit.
Oh yeah.
Totally. But so when I graduated, I wanted to go straight to grad school because I just worked really well. I was on like a lot of Vyvanse and a lot of Adderall for like years and years because my doctor had me on like really high doses. And so I think I was just in this like, I got to keep working mindset. And then when I got out of school, I was like applying to grad school, and 2 weeks before my applications, I had already paid for them. I just needed one rec letter. My like teacher that I look up to, the one that was like, she was like, you're not ready yet for grad school, and I'm not going to write this letter, and I'm sorry for sending it so late, but I just feel wrong.
Damn.
Like not being honest with you. And like a lot of people were like, don't you want to fucking kick her ass? And I'm like, no. That makes me laugh so hard. I'm like, I mean, I believe in myself, but like, you gotta also take feedback from people.
Yep.
And I really just, the way that she had wrote it out, if she had just said that in like one sentence, I would have been like, fuck her. You know what I mean? But she wrote me like paragraphs of why. And then looking back on what she said, she was right, I think. Because I looked at my portfolio and it's like school assignments, you know, but it's not like the work I'm making now. Like my portfolio is way stronger taking some time off school. And doing that. But so at that time, I mean, she emailed me that at that time I was like interning at the Science Museum. Or no, I was interning at the Art Museum and working at the Science Museum, no days off. And I was like, it was like the beginning of a 10-hour shift and I was hosting the IMAX. Which is a lot of sitting and waiting. So, and like thinking about what you did. What you did to fail. No, I'm just kidding. So I got that email in the back and I just started like bawling. And then I just went through this like hard party phase where I was like getting on Tinder and just like hooking up with a bunch of people and like partying. And then I came across Broad City and I was like, man, this is a good show. It's like one of the first sketch shows of two women since like that I really liked, like since like I Love Lucy, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, there are good sketch shows, but that was great. And there's nothing like it before that. Like Amy Schumer can go fuck herself, but, yeah, you don't steal people's jokes and then turn them into sketches. It's terrible. And also put them in your act. Anyway, so,
Yes.
I loved it, and I remember, like, anyway, during that time, still just hooking up, drinking, partying, and I went to an improv show with this guy, and I was like, I'm not really into this guy, but I love this improv show, and I want to do this. Like, I bet I'd crush this shit, you know? And so I signed up for improv, but I remember right before I started hooking with this other guy, and he and I met on OkCupid. And he was like, I have social anxiety. And I was like, I have anxiety too, but like, that's not a good reason to start dating someone.
Hey, we have this really crippling thing. We should get together.
Yeah.
Let's stay on the couch forever.
Yeah. A lot of soaking. No, I'm just kidding. But,
Now we're talking.
But like that was pretty much all we did. And then I remember showing him Broad City and I was like, I want to do this, but I don't want to like step on the guy's toes who I went on a date with before. And he was like, you should just do it. And then he ghosted me. And so I was like, well, maybe I should take a break from this and do it because this is not good for me. He went to a Magic the Gathering meeting and he never talked to me again. Just got lost.
He must have pulled some good cards. I don't know.
Well, he like didn't want to tell. That was also like a huge turnoff. He was like, "I'm going away this weekend, and I'll hit you up when I get back." And I was like, "Where are you going?" He's like, "I can't tell you. It's so lame." And
just own it, man.
And
you know,
social anxiety probably.
Probably.
But I remember like he was hot, and that like I don't know. I like.
I like Magic
a lot
the
of guys
Gathering,
because
but
physically I was there, but like
funny.
mentally, I don't even know.
I can't tell.
I was like, you don't have to talk. We can just fuck anyway. But he like was like this cool guy with like tattoos and gauges. But he, I was like, you should meet my friends, and he was like, I'm like really awkward in person. Just a heads up. And I'm like, you'll be fine. But like looking back on that, like. As a 33-year-old woman, if someone said that to me, I could be like, hey, bye, you're annoying. Like, grow up.
Get it together.
Yeah. Or, you know. Okay,
fake it.
If you are agoraphobic, this is not a dig on you or anything like that. It's just like, tell me that you have an issue. I had dated so many guys that had like a mental disorder and they wouldn't tell me until way later. What do you guys think about that?
I think they probably didn't know they had a mental disorder until...
Dating me?
No, not dating. I'm just saying it probably was a
bring it out of
revelation to them that they
I'm
were
like
like,
acid.
oh,
No, I think it's the stigma.
Yeah.
Men,
It's the
yeah,
stigma,
it's a
yeah.
stigma about men and mental health, and we don't like
we're
talking
not allowed
about
to be
it.
weak.
Yeah,
and
we can't
that
show any.
shows
And that's a
weakness.
major like.
Like, oh, I
you
don't want
know.
to make a baby with someone with a brain problem.
Right.
Exactly.
I think, but yeah,
CRISPR.
I have brain problems. Just kidding.
Yeah, see, I had those
brains are
kids who
fucked
now
up.
have brain problems, but I realized that a little bit too late. Like 2 years into their existence, I'm like, oh no, I gave you my ADHD. Oh no, I have ADHD.
Oh, I have ADHD. Yeah, I got that. And depression.
And anxiety.
Anxiety,
Yeah.
yeah. But I also attribute, I feel like I was on ADHD meds so early in life that it affected my anxiety. Like, I don't think it's good to have, like, Ritalin on the brain.
Oh, that's been, yeah, no, I feel like there's been a few studies on that. Like, there's been a number of kids where they started giving them medicine way too early in their brain. Like, it changes the brain chemistry
Yeah, that's like me.
of like, the serotonin that it's naturally supposed to be producing to,
Yeah.
like, help you, like, it,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. And,
Well, and my mom, you know, like, my parents were really hard on me, too. So I was just like, you want to be an artist, but that's bad. But they support it, and they don't support it at the same time. It's crazy. You know, wait, what were we talking about?
This is okay. I was
Yeah.
just about to like compliment you on
love it.
how I asked that question 5 minutes ago, and you've still been on topic. Like you know, because I would have lost my train of thought 6 times. So what got you into finally?
Oh, yeah.
Doing a
The
stand-up.
ghost- Oh, my God, I got way too into the fucking part now in retrospect.
We're just gonna play that part on repeat.
No, but I mean, it's just crazy what you replace problems in your life with. I was like, just like fucking and alcohol, and we'll do some drugs sometimes. It's like you're numbing, you know. But so I went to start improv classes, and it was funny. I was also a runner at the time, and I was training for a half marathon. And so the first day of the classes, they wouldn't let you do it unless you showed up the first day. It was the same day as like a half marathon that I was running. And so I was like, shit. And it's like, I guess I'll just do both. And so I was like, I had never done a half marathon before though. Like I was like a long distance runner, but not like I would run like at most 6 miles.
I was gonna say, did you do any like 10Ks or anything prior to that? This was your first race.
This was my first race, was a half marathon.
Jesus.
So I was
damn.
dumb as fuck. I was like broken afterwards. I was like limping, and I was like wearing flip flops, which is like the worst shoe you could wear when you have foot pain.
Yeah. They're
You're, like-
supportive.
You're like making your foot do all the work, you know. And I like was so scared. I took a shot of tequila just to go to an improv class. Isn't that sad? And now looking back on it, I'm like, what was the anxiety?
It's the judgment. It's something that you haven't done before and you don't know what to
I was not
expect.
prepared for what we did, you know, because it's a lot of like zip, zap, zap, and like you're doing all these crazy, and I was like drunk,
hand
like,
motions.
I was like, this is just like a party, you know.
Your body's shutting down. You're just like,
I was just sweating. Like I probably smelled like tequila. But that's probably normal, you know? Like, I bet a lot of people just are like, oh, I'm going to go in there.
I'm gonna do it.
I'm going to be an Orson Welles. I'm going to be a natural. Take no notes at all.
Did you go from, like, did you do a local improv class here? Or?
Yes. I don't know if Justin Franzen's still here, but I started with Justin Franzen. He's an improviser. I think he might have moved back to Chicago, but he was running Chaos Bloom for a while. But when I started, he was doing classes at Voodoo Comedy, which is now Rise.
Nice.
Okay.
So I did that for a little bit, and then I would be talking to this guy, and he was like, the way you tell stories, you should try stand-up. And I was really scared, because I loved stand-up, but I felt like I was more of a sketch person. And I was really into the idea of doing improv and sketch, because I also loved SNL growing up and Chappelle Show
And all that.
Yeah, all that, and even just like this, yes, but also
All that was,
that.
yeah.
It was the best. And
Dude,
the
it was the kids' SNL.
and the Amanda Bynes show.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Amanda.
And there was so
Amanda,
much
please.
more clowning and sketch, by the way, like during that time period, and
Yeah.
like Pee Wee Herman.
It was much more goofy. It was like more silly. It was
That's what
let
I'm trying to get back
loose.
into. I just want to like be as goofy as fuck now that I'm done with my album. But like also like That's So Raven, that was such a fucking
I love That's So
killer
Raven.
show.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys see the Cheetah Girl movie?
Yeah.
Okay, did you guys cry in the Cheetah Girl? Yeah, I remember like sobbing.
I wasn't allowed to cry back then.
Oh my god! Please tell me you're in therapy now.
I am. Well, I was.
Every
No,
guy tells
I
me
graduated.
and I'm like, how long was I was?
2 years.
Good job.
Yeah, 2 years,
Good
and then
job.
she's like, I don't really slap them cheeks. She was like, well, I've given you basically all the tools that you need, so like just check in every now and then. I'm
That's nice.
sweet, yeah. So
My
this
therapist
year,
has not said that to me. Now
yeah,
I'm
this year
mad.
the
I'm
goal
like,
is to get
why
off
hasn't
the
my therapist said that to me yet?
because they like money. No,
I'm totally kidding too. Like I love her. And she's great.
yeah. This year the goal is to get off the Lexapro.
Nice.
We'll see.
I'm scared. I'm like, okay.
Me too. I've got anxiety about getting off anxiety meds.
Me too. Oh man, you should.
Yeah,
you write that joke.
You're better.
You should. No,
Okay.
you're.
No.
That already is the setup.
Well, that also goes in with like Xanax. I didn't know it was like I didn't know a performance anxiety was a thing.
Yeah.
Like stage fright, I guess.
Oh yeah. Really?
Right. I always thought everybody always had anxiety.
Yeah, I thought like we're all just like.
Just
But I
like
think that's,
anxious
like-
little mice. Just
It's like going down a crazy water slide when you're little. You're like, ah, and then
come out the other
It's why
side.
we go on roller coasters.
Mm.
I'm trying to write a joke about how I blacked out going on what is it? The Tower of Terror.
Oh, that drop.
Yeah.
I think they
Well, I
they don't
loved,
have that anymore.
I
don't think.
loved the movies or the show, and I was really into Nick at Night and shit, you know, and I just wanted to ride it so bad, but that drop, I hate drop coasters. Like I feel like my legs are gonna get like cut off by a wire. It just feels so much safer in like a little cart that's attached to something rather than my legs. Just I don't like the legs.
The dangles.
Yeah.
And also, this is like, you're like shaking a person up like they're a fucking soda bottle. Like, it's like, that's just crazy to me. I've done it a million times. Like, I've done Lakeside's drop. It is kind of funny, but then I'm also like, I hated that. Like, it's like, I go back and forth with the drops. But I do love a roller coaster that goes around and stuff.
We had one. There's one in Huntsville. It's like called the Space Shot. It's at the Space and Rocket Center, but it's you start off on the bottom of the tower, and then they just they just shoot you up like
Nope.
you're like whoa. You get to the very top, and then you just free fall down, and then send you back up, and you free fall down. It's terrible. The first I went on as a kid, I bit my tongue as it shot up, and so like blood was just coming out. And then we get to the top, and it's like going out, and there's like blood going out. Oh my god, I'm
You're, like,
freaking
watching
out.
droplets of blood. It's like
It's
you're
following
in
you,
fucking
just-
Annihilation when her eyeball blood goes into the nucleus.
Oh my god. Ah.
I know that part's so eerie. It's so
That movie's
weird.
so creepy.
I love that movie
Yeah,
so much. That
it's
bear
good.
is one of the best creature
It's good.
features I've ever seen in my life.
It's cool.
Bear
At the
that's
end.
like, oh man!
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, what a crazy! Have you seen this
No,
shit?
Dude.
I'm here for the ride.
You have
It's
to
a
watch
bear
it.
that eats. So like they go into this thing called the Shimmer. It's like a a comet like hits Earth
Uh-huh.
and causes this big nucleus. Once you get in the biology of the ecosystem, is that like everything is a prism. So everything is everything. Like when a tree's arm gets cut off, you'd probably feel it. Like your whole body is like cells are moving. Like everybody's everything. So it's a bear that like eats people, but once it eats them, they become part of the bear. So it has like everyone's voice boxes in it. And so when it's like growling, it's like a woman that was just killed and like what she just said. And it's like, help me! Kind of like the Mockingjays in Hunger Games. But like way more horrific because the bear's face is
Annihilation.
like this fucking skin's ripped off the front. So it's just like a skull. It's kind of, do you watch Adventure Time?
I've seen an episode or two.
It's like The Leech.
The
Is it
Lich,
the
the Lich,
Lich?
yeah.
When it
Lich
like
King.
rips off its face and it's like a skeleton in there just smiling.
Yeah.
So scary. It's like so good though. It's like awesome.
It's
I
a
want to get a
great movie.
tattoo of like all the 5 women walking
be
into the
sick.
shimmer, and then above the shimmer is the bear's like head coming out of it.
That would actually be sick.
I know.
That'd be very unique, too.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love a unique tattoo.
Heck yeah.
How many tattoos do you have?
Oh, I don't know. But I just got this really sick one of the spider head from the movie The Thing with Kurt Russell and Dave Child. You know what I'm talking about? And it's like,
I've never seen that movie.
oh my God, you got to see it. You're going to
Yeah,
love it. You're going
yeah.
to love it. It's so good.
The original
See the
one,
first
right?
one, yes.
Yeah.
But there's a part where this guy's head, like, falls off by, like, you know when the flesh, like, snaps and then it drops? Like, a sack that, like a, it's almost like a grocery basket that's too full and it snaps. You know what I mean? Like, in a movie, like, when it's like they chop a limbs. I'm sorry if I'm scaring you guys.
I'm just like, okay, all right.
But, like, his head falls off and then it grows a bunch of spider legs and eyes. And it kind of looks like Crumb from All Real Monsters. But
I was gonna say the spider toy from Toy Story, the first one.
yeah,
in
it's
Sid's
kind of
room.
like that, but it's like fleshy and weird because it's an alien that like imitates whatever its host was.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll eat a dog and it's a dog, and then it's crazy.
It's
So,
Kirby.
It's really fun.
I've
super
seen a few
campy.
like videos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like John Carpenter. It's so fun, and the music in it the whole time is like. It's like such a it's so good. I love movies about anxiety. Like that's what Annihilation. Literally, The Thing is Annihilation. Like, The Thing is a movie about an alien that crashes on Earth and takes form of other people. Annihilation's about a comet that hits that causes the ecosystem switch to where everything just gets like blended up into this black hole and spit out into like this prism of the same shit. So there's like,
So you're a big fan of Armageddon?
okay, I haven't seen it since I was a kid,
Okay.
and I can't remember it. When did it come
I
out?
did cry
I was about to say,
during Armageddon.
that's one of the few
Yeah.
movies grown men will admit to crying. Like,
Oh my God, I gotta watch it. I love a good
Bruce
cry.
Willis
Yeah.
sacrificed himself.
Okay, let me, as a woman who loves horror, I'm like, you want a good cry? Watch Train to Busan.
who?
Train to Busan.
Oh, that's the Korean.
Dude,
that movie's-
Asian movies make me cry so hard. And like, I don't know if that's racist.
No. They know how, dude. They know how to pull at the heartstrings.
Yeah,
they know
they
how to
do.
pull the emotion out
Squid
of like
Games,
a.
I like lost a piece of myself in Squid Games.
I still haven't watched Squid
Yeah,
Games.
me either.
Oh my God, it'll rip your heart out and then just like smash it, kick it. Just like, then like
Pop it.
pop it a little bit. Yeah, totally. It'll
Twist
do all
it.
the things. It's just like, oh, you like this person? Watch them be their best self, and then we're gonna rip them away from you.
I can't take that. No, see, I can't take that right now.
And
in
you know
life.
what's funny is it's like, I know that it hits hard with men because it's like men betraying each other that like grow together, but then they also like at the end there can only be one person, so like you have to like kill each other, and it's watching everybody finally break down and try to survive is like the saddest part about the whole thing because of capitalism.
Whoop, whoop.
But yeah, so after after May, a little few like in October, I did my first comedy set, Free Train, at the Bug Theater in 2014.
How'd it go?
I think it went well, but also I had just seen Obvious Child with Jenny Slate, and I would think I was like channeling that energy at the time because you just like imitate what you know. And so I was just talking about roommates and stuff, and then I was like, this has been me. And then, I mean, stand-up scared me a little bit at first because in improv you learn it's all about supporting the team member and like building together, and you gotta build by yourself. But I do think improv really showed me how to write and how to build comedically, and how honestly, I think any comedian should also just read basic improv books about like format and stuff, because it really is a great skill to just write beginning to end bits, and then you can translate that into screenwriting. And so I think that was like that's where I started.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yes.
So I did improv for like 2 weeks before I just jumped into comedy because I was like, I need to get some I didn't
So
get
you
so
did the
nervous.
zippy zappies.
I did the zippy zappies, yeah, and then
It is hilarious. Were there any like super old people in there? That's the best.
there were several. There was
They're
like
like scary. They're like literally.
I was like, there's like this 75-year-old woman, like this
Yes.
frail old lady,
Yes.
and
You know,
she's
I'm
like
like,
throwing her body around. I'm like, oh,
I know. I had that same lady.
Susan, please be careful.
I know you don't want to like touch them because you feel like you're gonna like break something. You're gonna bruise them.
I sneezed her away. She broke her hip.
It's funny because old people at that point are just saying no all the time, so they don't understand the concept of yes and.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, "Oh right, Tracy, we're going to the mall," and she's like, "Wait, but I need. What do I need?" And you're like, "Oh my god, this is never gonna go anywhere." But it's so interesting to watch.
It is fascinating.
They're just like, it's such an interesting age. To
I know.
Like, I mean, honestly, it also sounds kind of fun going back to it now that I used to be an improviser, like at that age.
Just go in and just be like, oh, hi. Pa-pa-pa-pa.
Yeah, like you're just like actually good. But a lot of the time you're like, this is your first time ever on stage, and you're like, 80.
You know what? Good for them, though. Good for them for branching out and
awesome.
trying something new.
I think it's at least
No,
a testament to them, like realizing that, like, hey, I don't want to, like, die without,
I don't want to die
trying to
improv.
Yeah, getting out there and finding this one aspect of my life that I never really tried to focus on.
Yeah.
And I want to go. I think it's at least cool, but
No, I love it. I just love the
yeah,
energy between.
I wouldn't be able to take it though. I would be like, nah,
It's just hilarious seeing them interact with certain people. They're getting scared by certain people and shit too.
Yeah.
They're also like, I don't know what this person's
He
about.
raised his voice.
They're just trying to figure everyone like. Just,
Yeah, we're right about that because that shit is so real. And every time I did a drop in, there'd always be like at least like one,
Just one.
just one.
I had the second time I went, it was the same old lady, but she'd brought her friend, and that was awesome to interact with because her friend was like very out of her comfort zone.
Honestly, what if she's just a clown and that's her bit? Like she's like, I'm just gonna go act like I'm out of my mind right now.
genius.
I love it.
Those are the type of bits that I like. Those
Genius.
long cons, that only you get.
I just love how like it's a struggle, and if she really was like, I really freaked him out today.
So going from building as a team to building by yourself in the 10 years, kind of like speed run us through what you've done in those 10 years, shows, tours, albums, all that stuff, because I do want to talk about the album. But
yeah.
and like, what were the struggles that you found as you were growing as a comedian, and how did you get past them?
You just gotta keep writing and getting out there. That's the best thing you can do. And if you can just keep your head down, be kind to people, and just go support shows,
Mm-hmm.
like go support shows of people you don't usually go see, even if it makes you uncomfortable, because I think comedy's so online now, and that's great. There's a lot of, it's awesome to see people blow up online too, and I'm not jealous at all. Okay, just kidding. But, it's also, I think, putting a lot of people in their heads. And you have to remember, like, it's really, the algorithm's, like, crazy. There's a lot of weird bias shit. And I think we're just in a phase where everyone's also still figuring out how to be themselves on social media. Like, it took me a year to get used to TikTok. I still am like, am I worthy of a video? And then I get on there and there's people that are like, I went to the store. And you're like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
They had a sale on fried eggs.
40.6 thousand likes. Like, yo, what?
Yeah, it's crazy. But so it's crazy, you know. And so when I started, it was very different. I would say the sense of community felt stronger for me because it wasn't as big as it is now in Denver, which I think now it's great that it's big too. So it's not bad. It's just that, like, I think that combination of social media being a huge thing now and the community getting larger and there's like all these subgroups and stuff, it's hard because you sometimes don't see people for a long time anymore.
Yeah.
And it used to be a lot smaller, and so you'd see everybody around. And so also I think that just kind of holds a lot of people accountable, and you know, like, people are more willing to look out for each other and stuff like that when there's a community, but everybody's just like, what do they think of me? What do they think of me? And like, if it's all cordial all the time, we're never really getting to know each other unless we're around to see each other in these different places and stuff. And so when I also started, like, there was like not a lot of women. It was like, I think there was like 5 or 6 good, like really good comics here that I knew of, which was like Christy Buckley, Timmy Lasley, Mara Wiles, Janae Burris. Jordan Maliba, she passed away, but she was awesome. And then, I mean, there were people that were just starting that were around me too, but that was probably it that I knew of. And then a few I met, but they weren't out all the time. Mm-hmm. And then still, you know, it was like 1 woman per show. And it was hard. You really had to prove yourself. There was no asking for sets. If you asked to do a show, they would like reprimand you, like, on Facebook. Like, shit.
Anonymous Denver comedy scene.
Yeah, like, they would just be like, listen, I'll book you when I book you. Blah, 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 you know.
People talk differently back then.
People.
Yes.
That's how old I am. No, I'm just kidding. But, you know, it was, like, really rough. And then, but it was still really fun because you're just, like, stars in your eyes at that point. And so things got better. More women kept joining. Things were doing good. And, you know, you deal with stupid shit all the time. But the stuff that I've done, I'm trying to think. So I've done some comedy festivals. I'm kind of just on a break from applying to comedy festivals right now. I might apply to, like, 1 or 2 this year. But some of the festivals I really liked. Altercation Comedy, Limestone, Alaska Before You Die is a really fun one. And to me, I was like, this is a destination. Like, getting to do comedy there. Yeah. Like, and then they have they have a pretty good comedy scene out in Anchorage, which is great. And then I just have been working on touring around and meeting and networking. I think that's, like, the best thing to do because you're doing your act in front of different cities and stuff. Mm-hmm. And now you can just send a tape to someone and get out there. Like, there's so much more self-representation, which is really good. And I think that's a good thing about comedy. And it's still always going to be like a cliquey thing. Mm-hmm. But, I don't know. There are, like, I think about quitting every week, but it's like, I still fucking love it. There's just all this dumb shit that comes with it.
Mm-hmm. Like everything.
Yeah, and I would say that's like every job, though. That's my mm-hmm. argument every time. I'm like, dude, by the time I quit Planned Parenthood, I was like, I was just like so ready to leave. I'm trying to think. I was like that waiter in Waiting where she like has to like adjust her body to like get out there and be like, so you want an abortion? Like, it's so hard because they overwork you. You're working for very little money. And then there's like this, like, everyone in the clinics is great, but then there's like a pay difference. We don't make as much money. Dude, nurses take such a pay cut to work at Planned Parenthood, and like they should treat their staff better. And like I'm all for abortion and gent, but like, I don't understand why every nonprofit has to like work people into the ground. Like, you wish there was something better we could do about it. But, shit, what was I saying? Working there, though, like, it just got so toxic because the stress was, like, affecting everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And, I just was like, I can't take it anymore. And then, like, also, you know, I'm a very empathetic person, and taking in people's trauma there was like, okay.
Yeah, probably
That's
not a
gotta
great
take
match.
That's
Yeah.
gotta take a toll.
Like-
Were you doing comedy? While you were working at Planned Parenthood?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, like, 40-hour weeks, and then, like, literally, like, leaving the clinic and then hopping on stage for, like, a long time. And I'd be, like, cleaning speculums. And then I'd be, like, running down to Comedy Works to sign up. Like, it was a really intense hustle. And finally, I just, like, couldn't take it anymore. I think the pandemic made it worse. And,
Yeah, that mental switch had to have been like
Difficult.
that's insane. You're like, yeah, you're going from like literally dealing with life, you know, and then you're going and shut up. He said, well, in life and death, okay,
There you go.
and or just I mean, it's just, and then like you're going and all right, let's be funny, let's bring some
And, like,
happiness to this
sometimes-
world. Like that's superhero shit in my opinion.
Oh,
like
well,
that's
thank you.
no, that's crazy. Like yeah, that's like more power to you.
Well, thank
Fuck
you.
yeah.
I mean, it was like amazing, you know, like it was fun learning everything, but it's also like crazy. Like I was an art student, so like being like, okay, you're gonna do blood draws. I was like, okay, what? Like,
Find the vein. What's a
I know.
vein?
Now I'm really good at it. I actually have a video on my phone of me drawing my own blood.
Just for fun, or
Just for fun. We were really
Fuck.
oh
God, no, dude.
this? Just
yes. Just because I had saw an article of a guy who he like had to remove his own appendix because it was bursting in Antarctica.
wow.
Wow, it's crazy how you can pick up.
Yeah.
Yeah. My
They must
ADHD
be.
was
They
like,
must be on
"Oing,
11."
oing." Yeah, they might be kind of loud, but that's okay. It's very echoey out there, isn't it?
It is.
They should
yeah.
put a little one of those things on the back of that door.
I'll just steal it and just replace
That's a
it.
good idea.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'd do anything, but
I don't think it
just
would.
seems like it might help. Isn't it supposed to bring the sound in?
It's.
I don't know. I don't know anything. Like,
I don't either. I'm. This is all very new to me. I'm just like, yeah, it's sound stuff.
Yeah, I think it just softens the
yeah,
echo in here.
that's
It's supposed
nice.
to.
Yes.
Okay, so what were you gonna say? Something?
Mm-mm,
Oh,
I was gonna say, getting back
I
on.
was gonna say, getting back to it. What has been your favorite city you've done comedy in?
Oh my god, I can't pick favorites. I just have a hard time.
You have to.
I have ADHD, so I like can't decipher.
Okay, then. What has been like your top moment of comedy?
Okay,
So
I
far.
love working. Okay, I actually got to do a show in LA, and a bunch of really great people were on it, and they all told me I was funny, and I was like, oh my god. But,
Fuck yeah.
like, but that's like, for me, it was just like really crazy to have that. Like, it's cool. Like, you get like, I've opened for a few people in Comedy Fest, and that's really cool too. But sometimes they don't even get to hear your set. Or they have their own green room and stuff. Todd Berry listened to my set, and he was really nice.
Nice.
Wow.
And that was at Beast Village. And then I'm trying to think of any... Oh, and if you haven't met Derek Sheen, also really great. We'll listen to sets. But I did a show... When I did LA, I did... well, and that's the crazy thing about going to New York or LA, because like all these great people are just like dropping in and watching. And so Maria Bamford had to go up first. And so I was like, holy shit, I gotta follow her. Because I was right after her. And then she stayed and watched my set, and like I did great. And then Adam Conover was there, and Jackie Cation, and Vanessa Gonzalez is a friend of mine, but she's really funny. If you haven't looked her up, look her up. She's also on Netflix on Verified,
Nice.
and she's on HBO, and she has a Comedy Central. She's on everything. She's great. But also, Michelle Balloon was there. Just a bunch of Crusher women too. I was like, damn, this is like a crazy lineup. And it felt really good. And it was just like, oh, and Jared Logan. If you haven't look up Jared Logan, you will die laughing.
Can't trust a guy with 2 first names.
I love no, I mean,
2 rules.
Dude, his albums make me die laughing. I was like, he's just so candid. Very great. But yeah, it was great. That was a great experience last year, and then recording the album was
yeah, how did you get that set up? Like to record the album, and how long is it?
Yeah, how was that experience?
It was so good.
Did you go to like a recording studio, like how in my mind how, you know, NWA right before they came up with Fuck the Police, they're in that kind of type studio? What?
No, that's so funny. I mean, everything was like on the phone.
Nice.
But so I just almost wanted to quit comedy like a little over a year ago because everything was so stressful, and like I was like, oh, I'm never gonna go viral. Like everything I post gets flagged, and so I think my algorithm's just like super effed. But I was like, I want to record an album before I ever decide I want to quit this, and I don't think I'd want to quit. It's hard, and so the goal is to record an album or a special. And so now that people are releasing them on YouTube, I was like, oh, well, you could just do that. And then I also wanted to start over because I have a lot of jokes from working at Planned Parenthood and stuff that I don't work there anymore. So I want to move forward, you know, and I don't want to forget them. And so I started touring and working on that. And then in the springtime, I was like, hey, does anybody have record labels that they know to submit to in like some private comedy group? And then someone was like, oh, you should talk to Brandy Posey about it. She's starting her own record label. And so I was like, oh, that's awesome. I will call her. And so she called me, we talked about it. And then she said she wanted to sign me. And so I was like, oh my God, really? Because she's a comic that I've looked up to for a long time too. She's one of the co-hosts of the Lady to Lady podcast. It's Tess Barker, Babs Gray, and Randy Posey. And she's also a stand-up comedian. And she started this record label because after the lawsuit with 800 Pound Gorilla, they pulled a bunch of albums off SiriusXM and they want it to go through labels now. So she was like, well, that shouldn't like keep people from getting their stuff out there. And like you make more money from getting plays on SiriusXM and like buys and stuff. So she was like, I'm just helping get it out there so that I can help people be on a label. And I was like, and so she wanted to sign me. I was like, oh my God, yeah, totally. And then she was like, okay, let's find a venue. And then we have a date. Once we have a date, that's something to work towards. But I had already been like, okay, I can do an hour. And so then I got the date, and so I was emailing. It was going to be at Rise or at the Bug because those were where I started comedy at. But Rise is no longer what it was, and they have like an improv schedule. It was just kind of hard to email back and forth with them, and I know they're busy, so no shade. But Alex was great at the Bug, and he's so responsive, and that's where I did my first stand-up set. So yeah, that's
awesome.
And so that's where I recorded, and we got that, and then Nick Humbly with Dude I Don't Know, or Dude IDK.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Studios is the one who filmed and edited it and everything. And so that's how it all was. And it was great. And I've been touring around just working all of it like the last year and a half, and then recorded it this past December.
That's awesome. And has it been released yet, or?
Not yet. Nick's actually gonna be done with editing within the next 2 weeks, and then I have a meeting with Brandy next Friday or Saturday. No, wait, next Saturday. I shouldn't be giving out all this information.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
I don't know if I think it's fine, but I'm a very open person.
I mean, it's your special.
Yeah.
But I'm excited, and so I'll find it. So I'm assuming it'll be out before the next year.
Is it going on YouTube or
Yeah,
where can we find it?
I'll probably upload it on YouTube, and you can go follow me on Instagram because I'll be posting it there.
Perfect.
And on my website at katiebowman.rocks. My Instagram handle is Katie Bowman Comic or Katie Bowman Comedy now. One of those, you'll find me. Okay, so that.
Have you watched any of it yet, or
Not
is it
yet.
okay? So I
But-
think that's when you meet with.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like it went really well. So, I feel confident in it. I'm just hoping the sound is good. That's all. But
What's the name of it?
it's going to be Neurodivergent Nightmare.
Nice.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
I'm like big
that's
on
a
like
really
names.
good
I've
metal
been
band,
like, what are you
too.
gonna name it? What are you gonna name it? That's I like that. Yeah.
Because I am a little bit of a nightmare when I talk. And people, they'll be like, you got to stop saying like. You have to stop talking so fast.
You
And
need
it's
to
just-
stop telling me what to do with my life. That's what.
I know. I'm like, let me just be who I am. But I get it. But I also know that it's part of having ADHD is you use a lot of filler words. So I'm trying really hard to talk slower and just not do it. But it's really hard, especially if you think about it too much.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're just in one constant feedback loop.
Yes.
You're like, am I talking too fast? No, I don't think I am. Like,
I hate when I speed up on stage. It's like only when
Coffee.
I feel like things aren't bombing the way that, or things aren't going well the way that I want, and they're bombing, and I'm like, oh no, and I start speeding up.
Yeah.
But that's a part of having ADHD.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm learning all about it now.
Did you get diagnosed later in life?
32.
Oh my
yeah.
god! You should listen to my album because I talk about it.
I was planning on it for sure.
But I got diagnosed as a kid, so like, one of my jokes was that I just feel like everyone diagnosed later in life, they're like, oh, everything makes sense now, and like I'm like, oh my god, my whole life was shame. Like teachers would be like, is she medicated today?
Damn.
I don't think you could say that today.
Yeah, my stepdad would always threaten to put me on Ritalin when I was a kid because I was so hyperactive. And I'm like, fucker, why didn't you? Could have been living a normal life since 8.
Well, I feel like I was like a zombie. And it caused a lot of mood swings for me coming off of it. And you're just a kid, so you don't understand why you feel so crazy. You know what I mean? I feel like it's good to start it maybe like when your brain's done developing.
I agree
Yeah.
with that.
Mhm.
Yeah, like, I know both of my kids have ADHD.
But people say like it changes your brain
Right.
and it helps you. Like they're like, but there's science.
But you
behind-
lose a part of yourself, I feel like.
Yeah, you're like you don't get to be your wild self. You're like insecure because
Yeah.
of this medication that's making you not feel yourself.
One of my best friends that I grew up with, like met him in middle school, throughout high school. He was, I think he was like on Stratera or something, and it was a thing that it would be like, dude, I didn't take my medicine today. And as we got older, like being his best friend, like his bro, we always spent a lot of time together. I could see is like that stuff really affected like him so, like his brain chemistry, because he was on it from before I met him, and then we met each other probably like 13, 14, and immediately just clicked. And so like by the time it was like we were 18, 19, I was like, yo, this shit is really like, it affected him. It affected his self-esteem, his self-confidence. I mean, this is my boy. The thing is, like, he was one of the smartest, like, funniest dudes that, like, I had ever, like, known. And it was just like, man, what the, like, and then he would just, like, certain instances you would see, he would just, like, like, kind of, like, go back. And it was like, man, like.
And like, I feel like I was, like, really irritable when I was on my meds.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, why can't you keep up with me?
Yeah, there is a little bit of that. Like, just I'm a little bit more high strung. Like, my brain is processing normally and fast now, so why isn't yours? Like,
But that's the funny thing is that it's the brain. The reason that ADHD people are so all over the place because our brains are moving so fast, and you're having all these different thoughts at once. It's really interesting.
all right, we did highest highs. What are your lowest lows in comedy?
Lowest lows. Having a pussy. Just
No! Hey, it is 2024. There's hope.
I don't know about that.
That's why I'm voting. I'm just kidding. I don't vote.
No, it's just hard, but I feel like it's weird, like you kind of grow apart from people you started with sometimes, and that's like the hardest part. And for me at least, just because I'm a sensitive soul, and you like think you're friends with somebody, and then like I don't even know if it's just your direction in comedy changes or whatever, but there's also a lot of climbers in this industry, and so they will try to use you for success, and it's really hard to tell if they actually want to be your friend.
Genuine.
And for me, that's like painful, or I'd like meet people that are like, I'm a huge fan of you, blah blah blah, and then they'll be like, so I want to start comedy. And I'm like, but like later, you know what I mean? And I'm like, that's fine, but I'm like, do you like value me as a person? Because sometimes they just want to like pick your brain and stuff, and it's kind of hard to know like who actually wants to be your friend. And I've like read a lot of books about from like Aparna Nancherla has a really great book about stand up. She took 3 years off. She's like one of the best joke writers in the country. Like if you go to New York, they'll be like, she's just like you everywhere when she used to live. Like there's to talk about her so great, but she took a break from it because of her social anxiety, and I relate to that because I just believe everyone's a good person, and now that I'm like 10 years in, you see a lot of bullshit, especially as a woman, and like women confide in each other, and it feels like if you speak up about stuff, you are annoying, or they don't want to deal with you, they don't want to book you, and or there's people that are just like holding themselves so highly above things, and like, but they work with this person, you know what I mean? And so you're just like, why can't people just be good and also do good things? Like, and there's just like weird shit that you see that you're like, how is that crazy? Like when women get canceled, like canceled, like look at Sinead O'Connor when she ripped up that photo. People were like, I want to beat that guy from The Sopranos. Was like, I should beat her. Like, I was like, okay, chill out. You're like, I wish you were method acting, right? You don't mean that. Like, or look at Kathy Griffin. Like, she got so canceled for that picture of her just holding a fake Trump head. And
when did this happen?
A couple years back.
When he took office, she took a picture. She got her all of her.
Yeah, she got torched. Yeah, for sure.
What?
All of the managers dropped her. She also got sued by 5 different people. That were like related to like the White House and shit. They were like, you are like speaking against the president in this way. Like they like thought she like really wanted to murder him or something. But that, that's bullshit. They're just trying to give her a hard time because she's a fucking woman. And
I was gonna say because she's a redhead, but yeah.
That too. But we're crazy, man. But But she like also had all of her gigs get canceled. All of her managers dropped her, and she said the phone didn't ring for 5 years. And at like the 4th or 5th year into that, like she tried to kill herself with a bunch of pills, and then she woke up in like a psych ward. She didn't know where she was. And then she came back to you, and like now she's like touring again finally, and I'm so happy for her. And like it's just so like crazy to me that like it's because of this Trump photo, all of that. And like
I'm surprised I never heard of this.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
It was pretty wild. Like the
people
picture
just, like,
the picture's
away
crazy.
With women when they get canceled.
They're like, who?
They're like,
I've been trying to cancel Amy Schumer for years.
Okay,
It's
Amy
just,
Schumer.
She's uncancelable.
She is uncancelable. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, let me show you this picture,
But
dude.
who else? I'm like, there's so many women that like, Oh, the Dixie Chicks. That's another like
The
good
Chicks.
The
example.
chicks.
The
Dude,
chicks.
people fucking loved that shit. It's so crazy. Or like, you know what really pissed me off too? Lizzo. Do you know the comedian from New York, Yamanika? She had such a great joke.
He's looking at the photo
Yeah,
right now.
that's what.
That's what. Yeah,
bro,
yeah.
People are. That's.
Yeah, it's not even like that crazy.
Well, the thing is, she used his real mask, so that's why they got so upset. Never mind.
Because they what?
She used his real mask. They're saying Trump. That's his face. And,
Oh yeah, I didn't get it.
yeah, that happens a lot.
Like a franchise of like Trump masks, you know?
Right.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, he had his own line.
Like a political line,
There are Trump stores.
like the Obama hat.
When I lived in Arizona, up in Sholo, which is like in the mountains, real hick place, they have a Trump store.
Yeah.
Everything is just all Trump.
I bet.
And
those people are
we
the
need to take a
people
field
that have
trip.
like every Christmas ornament
Mm-hmm.
in a catalog. You know what I mean? Like those are the people that like go to the beach and they're like, I want to stop in this Christmas store. And
I need to get a hermit crab ornament.
yes. Yeah, I need Santa and a floaty.
And drinking a beer, cause my Santa drinks.
Yes. It comes with a Mrs. Claus. But yeah, those people love to decorate. I'm sure. Even if you go, like I was in Pueblo and I was like seeing these huge signs on the back of people's like garages. I'm like, that's how passionate you are about your politics right now. Like, and Trump of all people, it's so crazy to me.
My theory is
Like, let's
these
go, Brandon. That video.
Yeah,
is
it's so
like,
stupid. Just say fuck
it's
Joe
like
Biden. Just say it.
It's like a
Be
Harmony
an
Korine
adult.
film. You're like, is this real? Is this like supposed to be some dystopian future thing? Like,
My theory is that these are the people who were bullied a little bit, but never knew how to express that. And then when Trump comes along and he's mean to people, they're like, oh, hell yeah. And so they're like, ride or die. Because it is literally going to be ride or die.
I know. I don't like every time I see something about him, I'm like, not today, Satan. Like, I can't.
Not today,
like,
Satan.
I had like a panic attack by this NPR post that was like, Trump is saying he will pardon January 6ers upon.
You mean peaceful protesters?
Of course you are. He's like our little Joker, isn't he? He's very clown-like, and
He wears a lot of makeup.
wears a lot of makeup.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when people do drag of him, I'm like, he is a clown. Like, he's like a clown option now. Like, there's Bobo, and then there's the Trump.
Yeah.
I'm in drag.
Trump's the clown. That is him. Okay, wait.
Okay, so we touched on the canceling, the lows.
Yes.
Now that you've recorded your album, I know you said you kind of want to take more chill. Actually, no, I do. ADHD question. Do you book yourself on these tours? Like, do you...
Yeah.
So you organize, hey, I'm going to go to
Yes.
this city, this venue, this venue, this venue.
Yes, I reach out to like clubs and venues by email and just see if they'll have me. Because you could also do an Eventbrite and just like a lot of comics are doing that right now, where you can set up a show at a small theater or something like that. And so but a lot of the time, you know, there's a lot of people that already run shows, and I just hit them up and say like, I'm trying to promote this with this, send them some credits, and book it. I wish I had an agent, but also some people, like, I was listening to a podcast and Hari Kondabolu was saying he doesn't have an agent, and I thought that was crazy because he's like pretty famous, but
Yeah.
it's also like you can control your own.
Right.
That's very true. That's,
And you don't have someone pushing you like, hey, let's get
You have
paid,
to
let's
pay
get
them.
paid, right?
Yeah, totally.
I mean, that's essentially it's not comedy related, but in the sports world, there's, I mean, one of the arguably the best football player in the NFL right now he doesn't have an agent. Him and his mom do all of his negotiating, and they like negotiated him. He was one of the the highest paid quarterback.
I
Like his
would
contract,
not wanna-
it was like
Think they'll win
$250 million.
things.
Lamar Jackson. It's
That's
I
like
would
it's
crazy.
not want to
dude,
negotiate with Mama
him
Jackson.
and his mom. Like it's like, and I'm like, that's the perfect example right there. If
like
you
the moms at
have
Planned
the
Parenthood.
confidence and know what you're doing, then you can really, you can build yourself up and don't have to
That's
worry
true.
about all that. That's I feel like
That's
like comedy is something we need to really do that.
Yeah,
Take the
no,
power into our own
absolutely.
hands. Or it's our career, you know.
That's
It's-
kind of like Okatsko, and I opened for her. She told me she didn't even do clubs for 10 years because she didn't like how they treated people, and now she's headlining all these clubs.
And then she can treat those staff like shit.
no.
Yeah,
She's
No, I
like
mean,
the nicest person.
I know.
But she's gonna make them a lot of money. She's gonna sell the clubs out,
Mm-hmm.
and she was able to. It just shows there's like no rules, like you can start trying to move your way up in a club, or you can wait till you maybe make your own following and stuff. But it's okay to also do a pop-up show at a place. And a lot of people like bring their sound equipment sometimes and go do things. I did, and like it's interesting. People will sometimes reach out to you once you start getting a following and stuff about going places and doing things. And so it's just all about meeting people, being kind, and being funny.
Mm-hmm.
Just kidding.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like it. I mean, but no, well, you said it earlier, like you said just like keeping your head down and just being kind to people, and I feel like that's such a simple like that. People really need to take that to heart because
So
it simplifies things and it can make things so much easier for someone it's just like mind your business, keep your head down, mind your business, and just be kind and polite and cordial to people. Don't be a dick.
But it's not
you
a
don't
competition.
Have to, yes, it's not. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a competition. Exactly, but I mean, it's still just like focus on you. It's focus on you. Focus on you getting better as a comic, and and focus on helping building up. Just focus on not being negative. You don't have to sit there and give everyone advice or tell everyone, "Oh, you had a good set," but the least you can do is not talk shit. Not be an asshole, not screw people over.
Yeah.
It's the very minimum that people just
And
kind
it's
of
free.
don't even understand to do.
I know, and it's like comedy's like like the psychopathy that enters the game. It's like moths to a flame, So there's a lot of people that get in here that are like, I could fuck some shit up. There's also a lot of people. I feel like there's a lot of parents. Not this isn't. But I'm like, some of these guys are just bored with their kids, and they're like, you know what? I'm gonna make a meme about something, or like
It's true. No,
No, you're at least coming out and getting on stage and doing mics.
that's my issue. Like I want to be more present in the Denver scene and just like be around, like go to shows,
hang out.
And
a lot of it is hanging out,
Yeah.
and
because I genuinely like everybody I meet. Like
being a nice person.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. That's what the joke was. Like, you don't have to worry about me saying the R word. I'm not gonna like put anyone down tonight. The only thing I care about that is an R word is reading.
See, you're putting down people who listen to audiobooks. How dare you? You're punching down, Katie.
Hey, you can use your ears to read. It's limitless.
In my head, it goes, I hear it, and then I see the word, and that's how I read.
I'm crazy when I read. It takes me a long time to read books, but I'm an avid reader. Like, I'm in the middle of The Stand, and it's just like... This book is so long. It's like 1,100. It's like 1,150 pages.
Who's the author?
Stephen King.
Stephen. Okay, I was like, wait a minute. This sounds very familiar. Why? Okay,
But it's
I
great.
love Stephen King.
It is great though. There's just this chapter where this dog, you get a little insight in the dog's brain, and I was like, cool. The little acid part that's still in there. My little third eye that's
And that
still
taps in
slightly
every
open
now and then.
was like, yeah, we're in the dog's mind. I just love that he'll give perspective to things like that. Like in It, he gave perspective to the alien. And like I listen to It on audio. Have you listened to It on audio? It's so good. But it's funny when he's the monster, he's like, you're ruining everything.
Yeah,
Because it's just an animal. It's like an alien that's trying to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Have you read the book Grendel?
Mm-mm.
Okay, it's like a later adaptation of Beowulf from the monster's
Ooh.
point of view. Again, this is the same theme. It's like the Black Mirror. I love seeing both sides of things.
Yeah.
Have
I'm a
you
very fair person?
have you read Eaters of the Dead?
No,
It's
I'll put it
It's
in.
Michael Crichton. It's I want to say it's kind of like a Beowulf-esque story. So
Wait, is it?
it's about Vikings, I think.
Is it like really old too? Like it's like a poem.
It might have
What
been.
is that?
It's fuck, I don't. Oh no.
What am I saying? I'm like,
My
you know
AP
that
English
style
teacher is
editing.
rolling in her grave
But,
right now.
like, Beowulf is like a poem, right? Like it's a big
It was.
poem.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like
Isn't it like a poem? Not Shakespeare.
like how
An
how
epic.
Odyssey and
Yeah,
epic.
an
Yes, yes. Like
yes.
Odyssey, Iliad were epics. Yeah, yeah.
Like the OG was probably like on like some kind of scroll.
Stoned.
Imagine finding that and being like, "What? You ripped this ogre's arm off?" You're just like, Shrek is life.
Shrek is life.
Shrek is like.
Shrek is love. Okay, wait. What is it? Cedars.
Eaters. Eaters of the Dead.
Cedars of the Dead.
Cedars of the
Cedars
It's
of
just
the
some
Dead.
Those say
necrophilia.
Oh God.
Oh, why did both of our brains go there?
Necrophiliac farmers from Iowa.
Yeah, that's like Hills Have Eyes names, but I love it. Except I haven't actually seen that movie all the way through. Someone told me there's like a crazy rape, and I was really young at the time, and I just never saw it. But I heard it's gross.
Was there an original before?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
How creepy. The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah, I always stayed away from those type of movies.
You're not a horror fan,
No, I mean I really like Silence of the Lambs and like Hannibal and that stuff. But
dude. Did you watch the Hannibal series on NBC?
Yo, that had what's his name?
Mads Mikkelsen.
Mads Mikkelsen.
So
Yeah.
good. They like took it off because I think it was like terrifying.
he's a terrifying person.
It was.
It was brutal. I was like, how is this just regular?
No, it was like
PG?
regular prime TV, and they were just like.
Like they have like Mason Burgers cut off his own nose.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, cut off your nose, and he like does it, and then he's like, I'm full of myself, and he's got like no skin. And I'm like, this is just public television. Like, imagine being like 6.
You're sick from
Just
school.
scrolling
You're
through.
just like, no Judge Judy today. Cut off
Like
your
a
nose.
pedophile's cutting his nose off and eating it. You're like, what does this mean? I'm 6.
That was.
I think that guy just cut his nose to spite his face. I don't know.
But it was like the creepiest shit. But it was so good. He did
It was
such
a great
good
show.
job.
Thanks-
It's kind of
thanks for
like
just
the
going past that.
Joker. It's like the Joker. You know, it's like we loved Jack Nicholson as the Joker, but we also love Heath Ledger as the Joker.
Yeah,
Who's the
that's true.
Joaquin Phoenix.
no
Joaquin Phoenix
the guy
was a good one.
beforehand in Suicide Squad?
Oh,
Jared Leto.
Yeah, I didn't see that one, but I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the worst Joker I think I've ever seen. Was Jared Leto.
He's not giving it, you know.
He doesn't strike
He's
fear. He
not
just seems
troubled.
like
He's like I mean, he is like cult leader vibes, but he's not Joker cult leader vibes.
correct. He's like long hair, white
he
robe,
need like
cult leader vibes.
weird chemicals to like make himself an army.
He just
People are like,
just blinks those baby blues.
It's more of a like Mother God cult than it's a Joker cult.
Okay, somebody was telling me I need to see Act on Hulu.
Oh, yeah,
Have you
it's
seen
pretty
that?
Good. Yeah, it's pretty good. The actress did a really good job. I'm excited for Gypsy Rose.
Can you say that?
What do you mean?
Rose? I don't.
Gypsy Rose?
What are you talking about?
Blanchard? Or is that the act?
No, I have no idea. I'm floundering now. I'm in the Little Mermaid because
No,
I'm floundering.
The act. Okay, so the act is about Gypsy Rose Blanchard,
Mm-hmm.
the girl who killed her mom. Wait, what are you saying? Can you say that?
I was making a stupid joke.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Stupid joke
I
about
have
the
to
word.
go to the.
Gypsy.
My stomach.
Yeah,
is
dude,
like,
you're good.
I'm sorry.
You want to take a quick break?
Yeah. When I'm in yoga, I'm like, okay, so we're
Give me that yoga body.
Yeah.
Give me that yoga flexibility, please.
Oh yeah, honestly. I could just
Sometimes
say that.
I'm like, I feel like the Tin Man, just like,
Yeah, no, yoga's nice.
because I don't have a heart.
Yoga.
Too many people in my life tell me I need to do yoga.
I mean, you've already done a cold plunge. You take the next step.
No, bro, it's different.
I'm different. Uh, well, where are we sitting at? We're at like
An hour and 31 minutes.
Hour and 31 minutes.
Nice.
You care to wrap it up? You guys, I'm good to keep going forever. I know you have something
Yeah,
in
I
like
just
30
have
minutes.
to do something in 30 minutes, but thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
Is
thanks
there
for-
anything else? Like, I feel like we covered a lot.
We did cover a lot.
Yes.
This was awesome.
You're definitely the most vetted comedian we've had thus far.
Right.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
has been. I've been really excited since we booked you. I was like, yes,
Oh, thanks
and
for having
just
me.
because, yeah, you're the first comedian that I met when I started, and you were really nice.
Oh, thank you.
And that's kind of my MO is like you see what you get. I'm just me, you know.
yeah, totally.
if I like everybody until you give me a reason not to.
It is how like weird how planet Earth we all are,
Mhm.
and like you just comedy. There's a lot of weird people that are like, I gotta be on all the time. You can't ever know who I am. It's like weird.
Here's my thing: is if I don't know who I am, how am I supposed to be on all the time? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna edit that
I
part
love-
out.
Okay.
I love
get
that
at least-
vulnerability. I love it.
You get at least one or two of those shitty ass comments. That's who I am.
No, it's true. You
But
have to
yeah,
love- or
Any
it's-
advice that you would want to give yourself when you first started?
don't try to just be cool for other people. Be cool for yourself. And I don't think I ever was cool, but I think, just try everything. Do lots of mics. I think mics are important.
Yes.
And I think it's important to try stuff out to build your accent. Like, it's cool if you can work on new stuff with people, but I think it is nice sometimes if you don't have the frequent stage time to be, getting a show at least once a week, to hit a mic or two.
Mm-hmm.
When I started, I was hitting like 5 mics at a time and working at Planned Parenthood, and I'm an old lady, and that's what we did. But I do think it like helps. You just get your comfort, like it makes me work. The more stage time you have, the more you find your voice, the more you feel comfortable, and you're quicker and stuff. It's good all around.
It becomes second nature
And
at that point.
I was listening to like a Ram Dass meditation. I'm a little yoga lady. Okay, wait. But I love the one about how he's like souls see souls. When you see yourself as a soul, you see other people as souls. And like this like strive, as much as social media wants you to be this individual, it's also very toxic in how that makes you look very much within and not out at other people. And you need to be a light for other people. And so that you're better off contributing to your community, being a kind person, than you are trying to fucking start shit and make people feel isolated. Like, who wants to be like that at the end of the day? Especially all the dads out there that aren't
All of
sorted and therapized. Do you have kids?
No.
Me neither.
Oh, I'm a huge advocate. Ever since
No,
I started
yeah.
doing therapy, I'm like texting all my guy groups. I'm like, hey guys, this is what I learned in therapy today.
Yeah.
You guys should go
Yes.
now.
It's so good. It's so good. And listen to comedy albums. Go support
Yes.
shows.
More shows.
You can always come hang out at Sushi High. Just let the waiter know you're a comic. And just don't be a dick. Unless it's like
Warranted.
warranted, And if it is, name names.
I like it. Awesome. Well, Katie, again, thank you so much for coming on. Where can we find you? Any shows coming up? Anything you want to plug?
I have Sushi High every Thursday. Come see me. Sometimes you get me or Brad Galley, my partner. We host it together, or you get both of us. This is coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, so this week you just get me. But I have all my shows on my Linktree on my Instagram.
Perfect.
And That's Katie Bowman Comedy, and then KatieBowman.rocks for other stuff. I'm trying to stay on top of it all. Ever since I recorded my album, I've been like not updating it as frequently, but it'll be updated at least once or twice a month. But my Linktree, and I share stuff on my stories, so I share it. You know, people are like, "Oh, I never know," and I'm like, I share it. Like, you can check there if you want to come to a show. Also, I have a weekly show, so at Sushi High in Denver. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. You want to sign us off? You want to get us going?
Oh, all right.
Get us ending, I guess.
Yeah, it's another episode that we have bringing to the books. This has been fun. This is awesome.
Thank you.
Very insightful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love these episodes. So
I feel like we've had some pretty wise episodes.
yeah, and it's cool because you get to hear like the perspective of like people in different points of their comedy careers. Like, you know, we had Trey, who was like 40 years in. Tyree is like 7. You're 10. And then we had people like Dan and Jeremy. Dan's been doing like a couple years. And it's really cool because you really see the overlaps of like what people go through. And it's, I think it's very...
Just know there's always someone banging their head at a different level.
We're all going through the same stuff.
Also,
and y'all aren't imposters, okay?
Let go of your ego.
Yes.
Yes.
Leave your ego at the door because you're not who you think you are.
Amen. Amen. I agree. Well, yeah, dude, it's another episode. I'm Big Mike. You can catch me on Instagram, _Hagrid.
And I'm Jordan Ward. You can catch me on Instagram at Warden_Jord. Thanks for listening.
You have an open mic, don't you? And a
yes. I have every Monday. We're doing open mics at Long Table, 6:00. Yesterday was our first one. We had 21 comedians come in, which is pretty cool. I'm very excited about that.
Wait, what day is it?
Mondays.
Oh, it's Mondays.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And if I got an Eventbrite every week just in case if you want to sign up. We had 7 comedians sign up online beforehand, so that was cool. And then January 25th, Long Table, we are going to have a showcase. It's got some great comedians. I won't give it away. I'm just kidding. It's Dana Fuller, Will Snyder, Big Mike, Hannah Gray, and Jeff Cohen. And that's going to kick it off. And then we'll be doing monthly shows at the end of last Thursday. So have Brad host one week. And
yeah, I'll try. Like, sometimes one of us will take a break. It's just like, you know, it's our income.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we also, like, we'll switch off sometimes to take breaks and stuff. But yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks, Katie.
You.
It's been awesome. You guys have been listening to the Bush League Show. See you later. Clap them cheeks. I love that they're all different speeds. Super goofy and nerdy,
You're just a daddy.
Yeah. So, thanks. All my ladies call me that. My dad posts. Howdy, y'all.